TIFU by almost killing my roommate's brother. I'm using a throwaway account as I'm guessing what I did isn't exactly legal. I'm sorry if this is long. I'll include a TLDR at the end. It didn't happen today but 2 years ago. I was living with a roommate while I saved for my own place. My roommate was lovely, for the most part, but her little brother was always staying with us. Her brother was lazy, never did any chores at all, and had pretty much turned the living room into his own personal bedroom without ever paying a cent in rent. As unbearable as that already was, he did the most annoying thing that any roommate could do, which is stealing food. He was constantly stealing my food. Pretty much every day. It started with him just taking ingredients like flour or coffee, which I didn't care about, but eventually he started stealing snacks and even took my leftover meals a few times. Eventually I got sick of this and confronted him. I knew it was him because my roommate was a vegetarian and he wasn't. I confronted him a total of I think 3 times, and every time I did, he would deny it or just laugh it off, blaming my forgetfulness or my boyfriend, who happened to be celiac, so most of the things that disappeared were off limits for him. This drove me insane to the point that I eventually just bought my own fridge and put it in my bedroom. As you can imagine, this did not stop him. He even took coffee creamer from my fridge and left it on the counter to spoil. This led to me screaming at him to leave, which made my roommate furious. Turns out she wasn't as nice as I thought, and he was back in the house 2 days later. My landlord was a jerk, and I knew that asking him to deal with RM's bro wouldn't work. However, I did ask to install a lock on my bedroom door, but he said he would only let me do it if I paid a fee. He was only asking me to pay something like $30, but I thought that was insane and refused. Not wanting to piss off the landlord anymore, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I knew that my roommate's brother was allergic to strawberries, however I didn't know how severe this allergy was. I also knew that he absolutely loved buffalo wings, because he'd taken them multiple times before. And later that night, in blind rage, I decided to make some buffalo wings with a secret ingredient. Sure enough, my plan worked, and I got a call at work from my sobbing roommate. She was in the back of an ambulance with her brother because he'd had an extremely severe allergic reaction. At the time, she cussed me out for putting strawberries in buffalo wings and not warning anyone, but what her brother failed to tell her is that he'd snuck into my bedroom to steal them. Once I told her this, she calmed down a bit and was just frustrated. I didn't tell her that I'd done it on purpose, but I'm sure she would have put 2 + 2 together at some stage. Her brother was okay in the end, although I did find out that he would have died if she weren't home at the time. He never came back to the house after that, and I only saw him one more time before I moved out 2 months later. I feel incredibly guilty that I could have cost him his life over some food, but at the time, I thought the allergy was fairly minor, and I'm sure he's learned his lesson about stealing food now. TLDR. Roommate's brother persistently stole my food, even breaking into my room to do so. I made buffalo wings with a special ingredient, and he nearly died of an allergic reaction. I'm confused how someone with a food allergy was so careless with what they eat. I would be so nervous about how any and all food is prepared. When you got deadly allergies, stealing someone else's food is a sort of suicide attempt. Dude, my sister has a severe nut allergy. As severe as your roommate's brother's was. I.e., if someone is not with you when your windpipe swells shut, you will die. And like rule number 1 for anyone with that kind of allergy is that you don't eat anything without knowing the ingredients. So what the fuck was this guy doing, just eating random food out of other people's fridge? He was being reckless and it sounds like he needed a wake-up call. Geez. At least hope he was carrying his EpiPen. Well, if he was very allergic to something, he really shouldn't help himself to food without a declaration. Sure, buffalo wings and strawberries is an unusual combination. But I made chicken wings with a sauce containing blackberry jelly. There are lots of recipes out there. And if he's that allergic, he should have been more careful. This was 100% on him. I guess the alternative would have been to spike most of your food with strawberry and warn him like, well, I'm glad you're not the one stealing my food because I'm adding strawberries to everything from now on and you're allergic. Aren't you? Quote. The reality is there was no good solution here. I had a housemate constantly stealing my food, milk, eggs, etc. Like I would only get to 1 or 2 eggs of the dozen. Or milk for like 2 bowls of cereal before they were gone. I had been labeling my food on my shelf in the fridge. And it had gone so far that the last time I labeled individual eggs with Sharpie, I go to the kitchen and see a pot on the stove boiling some water. In the water are eggs labeled with my name. I am ashamed to say I lost it. I smashed the eggs real good in there. I took their wooden spoon, lying on the counter next to the pot, and smashed it as much as I could and put the pieces in the pot too. I left that shit boiling. The housemate never said anything about it. But there was a new carton of eggs on my shelf the next time I went to the fridge. I mean, it sucks that he almost died and all. But he should be the one in here posting, TIFU I almost died because I'm an asshat that broke into someone's room and stole food. This is his FUP. Not yours op. Edit. For what it's worth, I have used strawberry juice as background sweetness in barbecue sauce before. So strawberries in a buffalo sauce does not seem totally out of place to me. Did I understand it correctly? You did fuck up since you didn't manage to kill him? My old steelworker job, we had a guy who'd steal people's lunches and either feign ignorance or say he thought it was just left in fridge. We all suspected it was the cleaner, janitor, who was stoned 100% of the time. We called him Dude. He talked like the dude as well, always stank and looked like an anorexic. My coworker was a rather large individual who one particular day was talking about these wraps he made. How he couldn't wait for break time made enough for all of us. He was talking about them all morning. The 4 of our crew left a little early because he wanted to put them in the toaster oven. Walk in lunchroom, there's Dude eating his wraps. He'd eaten 2 and was on 3rd. One guy said, "Wow, you fucked up." The owner of the wraps casually walked around the circular table while Dude sat with a mouthful, trying to mutter some lame excuse. Grabbed Dude by the back of his neck and pulled him up, then grabbed his balls, proceeded to carry him out the lunchroom while he spat out wraps, flailing, going, "Oh WWWTF mon." We shrugged, sat down to eat. Somewhere around the corner of the lunchroom we heard pleading and someone being thrown around like a rag doll and all these thumps. Then Dude went stumbling past the window all fucked up. The owner of the wraps returned and informed us Dude was purchasing McDonald's for all of us. As someone with allergies, I can't imagine eating food without knowing exactly what it's in it. I don't even let most people cook for me. But every allergy is a serious allergy. Even if they only have minor symptoms at first, there's no warning for when the next time won't be minor. Speaking from experience, as I had 2 anaphylactic experiences last month from foods that had been safe for me, i.e., no symptoms, for ages. I am very amazed to find that how people are allergic to some foods and can also die from it. I've never seen anyone in my third world country being allergic to any food. Edit. Okay, I understand this allergy thing now. Maybe I will be allergic to some foods, fruits that I've never been exposed to. Like avocado, which is not cultivated or imported into my country. The thing most people are saying that kids in my country die due to allergies and we will never know. Wrong. Without the examination of bodies and without the clinical results of the dead whatever they die from. It is illegal in my country to bury them without a doctor's report on what was the reason of death. Although my country is developing, but we have proper labs and healthcare. You guys made an important point. The immune system depends on the things that we have been exposed to. This also proves a point that people in my country don't care much about corona SOPs. I do, and you should too. And have lower death rate than the developed countries. Because they have a better immune system due to the exposure to bacteria and germs since their childhood. Some people have to learn the hard way. Hopefully now he'll actually be a considerate human being and not a thieving slob. Obviously this is incredibly extreme, but TBH his sister was enabling him to be a asshole human. Imagine killing somebody with some strawberries. Fuck em. He shouldn't have helped himself into your personal space and stole. That's why he stopped coming around after that, because before he thought he had deniability. But after the allergic reaction his ass was caught, lol. And shame on his sister too for defending him. I would have put a lock on the private fridge. Either way, at least you can eat in peace now. He wasn't on lease and was stealing food. You should have called the police and filed a complaint. How was that not the first thing done? Some free legal advice. If you do something like this, no matter how guilty you feel, do not ever tell that story to anyone until you're on your deathbed. You've already failed. But it worked out well this time. All anyone needs to know. He stole it from your room, where you left it because you knew it wouldn't be safe for your roommate. The rest is unfortunate. I mean, he kind of got what he deserved, but if you told your landlord, he probably at least would have made him pay rent. Messing with allergies is a big no-no. But he did have something coming to him. Sounds like an arsehole. I think laxatives would have been a better idea or something. Food-borne allergies are never minor, are they? I mean, you literally ingest something you're allergic to. Didn't he carry around an EPI pen? I mean, he definitely learned a lesson though, so mission accomplished.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.